What is going on, guys? Fascinating graveyard here today. We're at the Valhalla Cemetery in North Hollywood, California. We're going to visit the final resting place of Bea Benederet. Take a walk with me. You know how we roll on this channel. So let's get to rolling. Okay, so talk to me. Or I should be talking to you. So, of course, Bea Benederet, pretty famous Hollywood actress in her heyday. And as we go outside of this mausoleum here, I'm going to give you a little bit of warning. We're right next to the Burbank Airport, and I'm sure you guys don't care, but just going to give you a heads up. You're going to be hearing some planes flying over my head. Not the best cemetery to do videos at before, but I digress. Let's continue on. Beatrice Benederet. She was born April 4th, 1906 in New York City, New York. And I think when she was about 7-8 years old, for reasons I don't know, her family, father and mother, decided to pack everybody up and they moved to San Francisco, of all places. San Francisco. Okay, cool. So they moved to San Francisco, and a fun fact for you guys, Beatrice's dad, he opened up a smoke shop in the city, and that business was actually opened from the time they hit San Francisco until 1980. So at the time that it closed down, it was the oldest smoke shop in all of California. So Bea, when she was 11 years old, she got a role in some school play or what have you. And that is when she said that she fell in love with the world of acting. She would take whatever lessons she could get. She would take piano lessons. Beatrice, she always had a knack. I don't know where she got this from, but she had a knack for doing voices as a kid. And later on, after she graduated from high school, she would go on and continue, getting small roles in, different plays that were played around the city. While she was doing that, she would attend the Reginald Travis School of Acting. And while she was in school there and in high school, she actually learned 4 languages. So she would continue to do acting roles and stuff like that. Now, by the time the 1920s started coming through, the radio was getting pretty popular. And so she would get hired on at KFRC in 1926, landing a job. She was like, what would you call her? A jack of all trades. She would do, the radio acting thing. She would write some of the scripts. Would she produce some of the stuff too? I want to say. But basically, they mainly hired her to do like drama radio plays for the radio because we didn't have television back in those days. And she would later get work not only because she was an actress, but because she spoke those different languages, and she was very good at talking in different dialects and different accents and stuff like that. Now, when she moved to Hollywood, she would end up getting a job with Jack Benny. He had a radio show at the time called The Jack Benny Show. She played on there for a few years, and also because, like I said, she had a knack for doing voices, Warner Brothers hired her to do some voiceover work for them. Off the top of my head, I do know that she was the voice of Granny, the Tweety Bird's owner. And she did that character, Witch Hazel, which I do remember that one. And I don't know the name of the character, the old mother, the hen, the chicken or whatever. She did that. And I'm pretty sure she did a lot of other voice characters as well. They were unaccredited, so you're not going to see her name in any of the, at the end of the cartoon when they would show the credits or what have you, because she wasn't under contract with Warner Brothers. So she was free to do whatever she wanted. She could do voices for them. She could do voices for whoever. And because of that, you won't see her name in any of those credits, like how you would see Mel Blanc, who somebody had a special request that they wanted me to do a story about Mel Blanc, so I will get that out to them as time passes on. She would earn an even bigger role later on when she would get hired to play a character on the George Burns and Gracie Allen show. Again, this was a radio show at the time. And while she was doing that, there was a young Hollywood actress who was funny as all heck, and she was a real knockout too. Her name was Lucille Ball. And Lucille and Bea, I'm gonna say they were chummy. I'm not sure if they were friends or they would just kind of, hang out, hang loose together or what have you. But Lucille, originally when her and Desi Arnaz are coming up with the idea for the I Love Lucy show, Lucille, she hits up Beatrice and she says, "Bea, girl, we're developing this show. It's called I Love Lucy. And there's a character, her name is Ethel Mertz. I would love for you to play that character." And, maybe she's excited. Maybe she really, really, really wants to do it. So she tells, maybe she tells the producers, the director, or George and Gracie themselves, "Hey, I got an offer to do a TV show. We don't know if it's going to be a hit, but it sure sounds funny." However, she was unable to play that role because they wouldn't let her out of her contract. Me personally, yeah, depending on how big her role was on that radio program, I guess I wouldn't let her out of her contract either, because then you mess up the flow of the show. And I want to say she was on that program. It could have been, I'm going to guess, maybe 7-8 years or something like that. So she, missed out on that opportunity, but she would later find a new opportunity in 1960. God, I hope I got that year right. So there's a cartoon coming out, and I don't know if this cartoon, the Flintstones, because I'm not going to lie, I know sometimes you guys don't like when I insert my personal opinion in my videos, but I like it. I like it a lot. I'm actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now. I never found the Flintstones funny, so I don't know if it's a cartoon that was geared towards adults or children, but I'm going to guess. I could have sworn I remember like a long time ago when I was just kind of like looking up for stories. Wasn't the Flintstones on at nighttime? So I don't know if it's really geared towards kids, whatever the case might be. So the Flintstones, they get these two ladies in together because they're looking for people to voice the character of, Wilma and Betty Rubble. Wilma Flintstone, Betty Rubble. Whoever was in charge of hiring, I want to say, because I don't know who the other lady's name was off the top of my head, but they basically... they had the choice of who wanted to do what character. It wasn't like, you're going to do this character and you're going to like it. They said, who wants to voice Wilma? Who wants to voice Betty? And the first lady, she's like, I'd rather do Wilma. So she's like, all right, cool, I'll do Betty. And she would work on that cartoon series for about 4 years. And then later on, another lady took over as the character, the voice of Betty, because in 1963, she's starting a new TV show called Petticoat Junction. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've never watched an episode. I've seen it on Nick at Night as a kid when I had cable, but I don't know, I just never watched it. But from what I've read and from what I know, it was a very, very funny and successful TV show. So she probably would be best known for Petticoat Junction. I want to say in the second season, Beatrice started experiencing some breathing problems. Now, during a routine check at the doctor, because she's a smoker, she's a lifelong smoker, and I'm not really sure back in the 50s and the 60s. I know there was like Surgeon's General warning on stuff, but it was kind of loose at the time, and I know a lot more people smoked then than they do now. So she goes to the doctor, and they do like a X-ray, and the doctor notices that it was a spot on her lung, and sadly that spot turned out to be cancer. And I want to say for the next few years of Petticoat Junction, don't quote me, I'll always like put in the video if I get a year wrong with something, but I know that she had went back and forth on Petticoat Junction when her health would be better, she would go on the TV show, and then she would have her bad days where she just couldn't she couldn't breathe, and the cancer would get worse and worse and worse and worse. And then I want to say it could have been the 4th season of Petticoat Junction, or maybe going into the 5th season, one of those. I think it's the 4th. I'll put it on the screen. That would be her last season. And, it's getting really, really bad. It's getting bad to breathe, it's getting hard to breathe. And sadly, she would have to leave the show. And then she would pass away on the show. And by that time, when she died, they would only air just one episode. On October 13th, 1968, Bea Benederet sadly lost her life due to that lung cancer. The secondary cause of death was listed as pneumonia. And this is her final resting place. And you want to add something tragic to this tragedy. She's interred in this mausoleum with her husband, Eugene Twombly. He was a sound effects artist. He died of a heart attack 4 days after Beatrice did. So they were both put in this wall together. Very tragic ending for two people's lives indeed. And then that's why I always say, the smoking thing, it is dangerous, but most people are going to do what they're going to do. Anyways, rest in peace to Bea and Eugene. Okay, guys, I am out of here. I'm going to walk over to the next story for a future video. Unless I'm here and they close the gates already, then I'll have to come back on Friday. See you on the next video, whenever that will be. Peace out.